have, in the past few weeks, we have been on this journey with Jesus. Jesus is on a journey to, Jesus is on his journey to Jerusalem. He started in Galilee, so now he's headed south for the most part, probably. And we see a chance for, sorry, 1 minute. Yep. Okay. So we see this trip, and we see him talking to one group, and then turning to another group, and then turning to another group. And over the past little bit here, we've seen a number of places where the Pharisees have been asking him questions, and more to the point that they have been critical of Jesus. Like they are in the mode of just trying to point out Jesus as a false teacher. I mean, in simplest terms, that's what they've been about. We're going to come across the Pharisees again today, and he's going to speak to them. But he has been in the midst of all these things. He has been talking to the Pharisees, he's been telling them parables that have been critical of them and the way that they go about things. He's spoken to the disciples and given them encouragement that sometimes doesn't seem too encouraging, but was meant as encouragement to them to continue forward. And then we have the story of the cleansing and the healing of the lepers and the return of the Samaritan to worship him. So we have this continuing story of this going on. And so what we have today, I'm not 100% sure that it just follows directly on to what we had before. Depends on, but he is continuing on this path. And so we have another couple of little vignettes here. So let's go ahead and read. We're going to read Luke 17, verse 20 through the end of the chapter. All right, so verse 20. Now, having been questioned by the Pharisees as to when the kingdom of God was coming, he answered them and said, "The kingdom of God is not coming with signs to be observed, nor will they say, 'Look, here it is,' or 'There it is,' for behold, the kingdom of God is in your midst." And he said to the disciples, "The days will come when you will when you will long to see one of the days of the Son of Man, and will not see it. They will say to you, 'Look there,' or 'Look here.' Do not go away, and do not run after them. For just as the lightning, when it flashes out in one part of the sky, shines to the other part of the sky, so will the Son of Man be in his day. But first he must suffer many things and be rejected by this generation. And just as it happened in the days of Noah, so it will also be in the days of the Son of Man. They were eating, they were drinking, they were marrying, they were being given in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. It was the same as happened in the days of Lot. They were eating, they were drinking, they were buying, they were selling, they were planting, and they were building. But on the day that Lot went out from Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. It will be just the same in the day that the Son of Man is revealed. On that day, the one who is on a housetop and whose goods are in the house must not go down and take them out. And likewise, the one who is in the field must not turn back. Remember Lot's wife. Whoever seeks to keep his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life will preserve it. I tell you, on that night there will be two in one bed, and one will be taken, and the other will be left. There will be two women grinding at the same place. One will be taken, and one will be left. And answering, they said to him, 'Where, Lord?' And he said to them, 'Where the body is, there also the vultures will be gathered.'" All right. that's our text for today. Honestly, it's very familiar. Although, I think we're more familiar with the text that's in Matthew 25. I think that's the one that we ought tend to go to for this. And this is Luke's particular take on it. So there's a few things that are different here, and we'll get to them. But let's do our best to give Luke the ability to say what he was saying, rather than try and bring all this other stuff in and talk about those things together. Luke has put this is Jesus speaking, I'm not saying, but Luke has collected these specific things together, and he's said them in a certain way. And so let's see if we can figure out what Luke is trying to get across to us, because this particular text is scripture, and we can read it, and it has I think it has a fairly plain meaning. Okay, so first, we're in verse 20. So the first thing we have is now, the word now. In the Greek, some translations will say on a particular day. Like, this is not saying right after 19 happened, they immediately went to this. This could be another day. It could be any time. But it did happen on the way to Jerusalem, right? So there's this particular time when the Pharisees asked him about when the kingdom of God was coming. That's their big thing, right? The Pharisees have been interested in when the Messiah would return. They're looking for the Messiah. They're wanting the Messiah to return. This is them asking Jesus, when is this kingdom of God coming? This is a funny one, because if you just read it at face value, if you forget what the Pharisees have been asking him previously, you might just think maybe they're just asking him. But I actually think that we are missing something, I think, because I don't think that they are continuing in their effort to undermine or to prove Jesus as a false prophet. So something about this is going on. We don't know what it is, so let's not speculate too much. I will say that all the way through Luke, Jesus has been saying, remember, he heals people, and then he proclaims, what? That the kingdom of God is here. So it may just be that simple. Jesus keeps saying the kingdom of God is here, and they're saying, what? When is it going to be here? We don't see it. Where is this kingdom you're talking about? That may be as simple as it gets. And he responds pretty clearly. He says, he answers them, he hears their question, and he answers them, and he said, the kingdom of God is not coming with signs to be observed. The literal translation, well, a little more literal translation would be, the kingdom of God is not coming with observations to be observed. Like, it's really just, there's nothing that you're going to if you're concentrating on what you're going to see, you're not going to see it. It's not going to be visible. It's not signs. There's not these things that are happening. And it's interesting that he says this, though, because I've been saying this whole time in Luke that he has been doing healings as indication that the kingdom of God is here. So this is not saying there's nothing to see. He's saying you're missing it. If you haven't seen it in what I've been showing you, that's what you get. That's what you're going to see, is what I've been showing you and what I've been teaching you. And there's not other stuff to be observed. So maybe they had some sort of, this is the calendar of the end times, and these are the things that we're going to see in this order. And he's saying, what have you been looking at? Like, it's all right here. So that's what we're going to, I think that's part of what he's saying. And the second thing that he says in 21 is he warns them, nor will they say, look, here it is, or there it is. It's not going to be something that people notice or, in the big what am I trying to say? It's not going to be this big public thing. What we're talking about here with kingdom of God is what's been going on. Jesus has been saying the kingdom of God is here now. That's what he's been saying. And so this is what he's saying. It's not over there. It's not over there. He says, behold, the kingdom of God is in your midst. You are in the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is around you, whether or not you recognize it, whether or not you bow your knee to it. The words there often get translated, I think the King James does this, for behold, the kingdom of God is in you, or is inside of you. And we have taken that to mean that the kingdom of God is spiritual and it's not of this world and all that stuff. But look at who he's talking to here. He's talking to the Pharisees. And I don't think that he would have told the Pharisees the kingdom of God is inside you. But he would say, you're right here with all these people, and the kingdom of God, you are in the midst of the kingdom of God, and maybe you're not seeing it. Maybe you just aren't seeing it. But the kingdom of God is going on around you right now. And so what that means is that, and I think Luke and I have been trying to highlight that there are these healings that are happening all the time, and there's people drawn to Jesus. And this is a result of that kingdom of God being there. Those healings are signs that the kingdom of God is present, that God is actually active. And we, as Christians, would say Jesus is king. That kingdom of God is Jesus being king here, right? So that's what's been going on here. They're undoubtedly trying to pick a fight with him, and he's saying, look, the kingdom of God is in your midst. And if you're not seeing it, there's nothing else to see. You've seen it. It's not over there. It's not over there. You've seen what there is to see. And then he immediately turns to his disciples. So now he says, and now we get this new thing. So we have two things that are going on here. And we often, when I say kingdom of God all the time. I say kingdom of God. I say this all the time. And people will often respond to me, yeah, the kingdom of God is coming. It's this thing that's coming. And Jesus is always saying, no, the kingdom of God is now. But there is something coming. There is something coming, but it's not the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is here. Jesus came in Bethlehem. It began. There is this kingdom of God, and it's on earth. It has been on earth. But there is this new thing coming, and we see here, the days will come when you will long to see one of the days of the Son of Man. All right, so we had kingdom of God in 20, and now we have days of the Son of Man, which is, Jesus is talking about himself. Son of Man is just him talking about himself. And you will not see it. So you will long for these days of the Son of Man. So he just got done saying, the kingdom of God is here in the midst. And then he turns to the disciples who do know about the kingdom of God being there, and he says, the days will come when you will long to see the days of the Son of Man. So there's something else. He just said that it's here. He's talking to the people who see it, and he's saying there's something else. There is something else that's going to come. And we know Jesus hasn't left yet. So it wouldn't make much sense for him to say that the Son of Man will return because he's standing right there, right? So it doesn't make much sense for him to say that. But the days of the Son of Man are coming. And what he says here in 22 is, the days will come when you will long to see those days, but you won't see them. There will be days when it will seem like the world around you is completely against the Son of Man. The kingdom of God is still there because you're in the midst of it, but the days of the Son of Man, the days when the Son of Man is recognized, I would say. I am working with down in I found this really helpful. Let me find it. Yeah, verse 30 says, it will be just the same on the day that the Son of Man is revealed. So I've been working with that thing. We have the Pharisees saying, when will the kingdom of God comes? And Jesus says, you will not observe it if you don't know what it is. And here we have this thing where the Son of Man will be revealed. Like, it'll be more revealed. There's not signs of it, but there will be a day when everyone will know that the Son of Man is the Son of Man, is Jesus. So I've been working with that as my language in my head. So the days of the Son of Man, the days when the Son of Man is revealed, there will be times when he's not revealed, and you won't see it. And they will say to you, look there and look here. Don't go away, and do not run after them. So the kingdom of God is you're still in the midst of the kingdom of God, but you're just not maybe able to see it in the same way. But don't go running off, because you're already there. Live your life in that kingdom. For just as lightning, when it flashes in one part of the sky, shines to the other part of the sky. So I don't know if this is lightning that goes across, air-to-air lightning, or if this is just there's lightning here, and when you're over there, it lights up the clouds, right? So it's just saying that when the Son of Man is revealed, he'll be revealed. That's the whole point of it. The Son of Man will be revealed, and everyone will know. The other thing about lightning is that it happens without warning. I mean, you get some warning, there's a storm there, but the individual strike, it happens. It just, bang, and everyone knows it. It's revealed. Everyone sees it. And then the thunder comes later, right? But it just happens. So there's this sense that it's just the Son of God, the Son of Man, will be revealed in a day, and it's just going to be obvious. Wherever it happens, it will reflect everywhere. So will it be on the Son of Man, when the Son of Man be on his day. And then he goes on to say, 25, but first he must suffer many things and be rejected by this generation. So now Jesus is being very clearly speaking to the people the disciples that he has in front of him. I am on the way to Jerusalem. This is the second time the first time that he does this is on the Mount of Transfiguration, when he says, many things will happen, and I'll be rejected by this generation. This is the second time that he says it in so many words. I'm headed to Jerusalem, and I'm going to suffer. And this generation is going to reject me. The people I was just talking to, those Pharisees, they're going to reject me. So that needs to happen. And I think, now this is just me, but the fact that he's not been revealed still, we still have this generation that rejects him. There still is a rejection of that. I think that, I don't know how to play that. I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm just saying this. But that generation, I don't think just means the generation back then, but I think there is a generation that is rejecting him. And so that is continuing to happen. That is why we can't see the days of the Son of Man. And then he goes on to talk about these two events from the Old Testament. We have the days of Noah, and we have the days of Lot. The days of Noah we hear about. This is again in Matthew 25. But the days of Noah, and what Jesus says, is, and just as it happened in the days of Noah, so it will also be in the days of the Son of Man. When the coming of the Son of Man comes, it will be like the days of Noah. And what does it say? They were eating, they were drinking, they were marrying, and they were being given in marriage. Those four things are, I think we often, when we think about the days of Noah, there are places where it talks about them being just completely, what's the word I'm trying to think, that they just continue to get worse and worse, that we talk about the world getting worse and worse. That's not what Jesus is saying right here, though. What Jesus is saying right here is they're about their life, eating, drinking, marrying, and being married, given in marriage. It does say that that's all they're about. So this is what they're about. They're about these four things, about living life, eating, drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage. And then that continues on. They have no inkling of what's happening. They just have no inkling. They're just going about their lives, and nothing would indicate to them that anything is about to change. And then the day that Noah entered the ark and the flood came and destroyed them all. So we have this picture of the coming of judgment that was not indicated by what they saw around them. So again, going back to the Pharisees, there were no signs to be seen. Noah was spoken to by God, right? That's not a sign. He was spoken to by God. Everyone else did not have signs to be seen. They were just going about their lives, going about living, and on some day, that was just the end. That was all there was to it. Now, Luke is the only one to talk about the day of Lot. So now we're in 28, 29, 30. So here we have the days of Lot. And so we know that Lot was in Sodom. And so because Sodom is involved, we have all sorts of like stuff that comes along with that picture of, of that stuff. The whole story comes to mind. But and Jesus, just a couple of chapters ago, talked about the people of Sodom being better suited to see what's happening than the cities that he had been going to, right? But there, Jesus doesn't say, the time of Lot. He says the people of Sodom. Here he actually says the days of Lot. So this is not necessarily about the depravity of the people. They were depraved. I'm not saying that they weren't. But Jesus is not saying the people of Sodom. He's not saying it will be like when the people of Sodom were destroyed. He's saying in the days of Lot. And so he's saying something different. And again, there's 6 things here. Eating and drinking, those are the 2 that were before. And then they were buying and selling, planting and building. So here, again, we have this picture of the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. And the people of Sodom were going about their lives, eating and drinking, buying, selling, planting, and building. So they were, but there's a bit of distinction here where the previous one was married and getting married. This one is about stuff, property, and we're going to see that as we get further. Like there's Noah. They're going to be they're living their lives and they're surprised when it happens. There's Lot and the days of Lot, and the people around him are living their lives around property until Lot leaves and God rained down fire and brimstone and killed them. So again, depravity, yes, that's all happening, but that's not what Jesus is getting to here. He's getting to the fact that they were clueless. They had no sign that this was coming. They were unaware that things were coming. And that's, they were unaware that it's coming until it happened, and that was it. So there's this suddenness, there's this immediacy, and Jesus is saying, just as it was for them, it will be when the Son of Man is revealed. The Son of Man will be revealed, and people will be shocked. People will be surprised, and in both of these cases, they were judged and destroyed. So that's going to happen too. So they were judged. So all that's going on, and then he gets to, on that day, so 31, on that day, the one who is on the housetop and whose goods are down below in the house, they must not go down to get them. And likewise, the one who's out in the field where nothing is must not turn back to the town to get their stuff. So here we have this progression from just living life to living life with possessions, and now he's talking about possessions. He's saying, when the Son of Man is revealed, don't think about your stuff. Don't think about your possessions. And he calls it, don't think about your life. Whoever seeks to keep his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life will preserve it. So that life is you're trying to bring along the things that are part of your life. Eating, drinking, getting married, building, buying, selling, like all those things. If you try to bring that along, when Jesus is revealed, when the Son of Man is revealed, that all becomes not part of the current reality. That all becomes the old reality. Jesus is revealed, and there is a new reality, and that stuff is all part of the old reality. And if you spend your time trying to go get it, it doesn't really give any sense, but it says don't do it. And there's a sense of you might miss. If you're so concerned about your things, then you might not actually be ready to see him revealed, right? And then he says, remember Lot's wife. Like, this is the only time she's ever mentioned in the New Testament, I think. I'm pretty sure. Like, and he's saying, so let's just, who was Lot's wife? Lot and his wife and his 2 daughters lived in Sodom. They were approached by angels, told to leave, and the 4 of them did leave. And they're walking across the plain that Sodom was on, and fire and brimstone comes down, and Lot's wife turns around to look. They were clearly told not to turn around to look, and she turns around to look at what her life had been. I talk about that some myself. Like, one of the reasons that going back to San Francisco is not a problem for me is because I spent 30 years in San Francisco. My life is there with that place and those people. And so, but there may come a time when I need to turn around and leave that behind. And that's what's happening here for Lot's wife. She was told specifically, don't look back. But she does, and she is immediately turned into a pillar of salt, right? Like immediately, like as judgment. And so I think that clearly says that on that day when you're on the housetop, don't go down to pack, or when you're in the field, don't go back. That's clearly saying there will be, if you do those things, there will be judgment involved. Because Lot's wife was thoroughly judged. Whoever seeks to keep his life will lose it, and whoever loves his life will preserve it. Did I say loves? Whoever loses his life will preserve it. So Lot and his daughters, they end up in a cave. They have no more life like they were used to. They lost their life, and yet they were able to live. His wife wanted that life and lost it, like literally stopped having life. And so that's what he's warning of. Now, we have these 2 examples. Some of our Bibles will have 3, but these 2 examples. And so he goes on to say, I tell you, on the night when if there are 2 in one bed, so there's a couple asleep in a bed, one will be taken and one will be left. If you're during the day, if it's during the day, there are 2 women grinding their flour. So that's something that you would do every day. So you wouldn't grind your flour until you needed it because it lasts much longer when it's in the kernels. So this is something they would do every day. They're grinding their flour. One of them is taken. One of them is left. There is a third one, verse 36, if it's in your Bible. I think this is a result of some copyists decided that this looked a lot like the stuff that was in Matthew, and so Luke must have just forgotten and put that in there about the men in the field. I don't think it really matters. There's these 2 examples. Things are happening, they're going about their life, and then one is taken and one is left. I also don't think it's very important who's taken and who's left. Is the person who's taken, is it like the parousia, or is it like the rapture? It doesn't really matter. What it's saying is there will be a distinct division between those who are looking for the Son of God, the days of the Son of God. I keep messing up. There will be a distinct division between those who are looking for the kingdom of God, for the Son of Man's days to be revealed, and there will be from those who are not looking for that to be revealed. There will be a distinct division. They will be separated, taken and left, not in the same place anymore. So, what do we have here? Oh, I was going to say one other thing. So one of the few things that I'm going to talk about Matthew here is that Matthew, when he uses this, when he gives this stuff, when he talks about the Son of Man being revealed, he uses the language of parousia, parousia, which we have normally think of as rapture. Okay, so Matthew uses that language. Luke doesn't use that language. He never uses that language. He only uses the language of parousia when he's talking about something else in another place in Luke. So he is not talking about rapture. So let's just, I'm not, I know that I'm walking on eggshells here. I'm not saying one way or the other, but I'm saying that Luke here is not indicating that. He is talking about something else. He is talking about there will be a time when there is no turning back. There will be a time when the Son of God will come back, where right now the kingdom of God is in place around us, and there are others around, but there will be a day when that kingdom of God becomes the only kingdom of the world, that it becomes the only kingdom. There will be some point in time where this kingdom of God that we can live in now is side by side with other things. There will be a day when it stops being side by side with everything else, and it is the only kingdom to be in. And you will either be in it or not. And that will happen shockingly fast. It will happen on a moment. There will be no turning back. There will be no changing your mind. If you're all about living this stuff, you will miss it. You will miss it. That is what's going on. That's what he's talking about here. And then this final verse in 37 is, and answering the disciples, they said to him, "Where, Lord?" So this is kind of a bizarre question. Like, I think they're not tracking, just like we're having trouble tracking necessarily. I don't think they're tracking, but they needed to ask something, so he said, "Where, Lord?" And he gives back this answer that is odd, but also quite specific. It is also is odd but clear. Let's put it that way. He says, "Where? Where the body is, there will the vultures will be gathered." I read something, and there were literally a page of different groups who think one way or another about this particular phrase. Here's what I'm proposing. This says body and vultures. So it could be, in other places, in Matthew, it's corpse and eagles. But what we have here is we've all seen, I have lived in a desert. I've lived in the desert. And when you're living in the desert and it's hot, and you look around, there is no movement, except maybe the mirage shimmering. Nobody is moving. When it's hot, except for human beings, everything is away. They are tucked away. It is still. It is the definition of no movement until, there's vultures, and there's this movement that's around this body, and it's in a very specific place. That is the only thing you see moving in the desert, right? And so I think that what he's saying here is there is a place where this is happening. So what's the body, and who are the vultures? Is this a bad thing, like the evil body is being eaten up? I don't know, but I'm thinking, purely my thinking, as I said, lots of people think different things. I think that the body is us, right? He's already said that the kingdom of God that is around you. The kingdom of God is already around you, the body, the people who are in the kingdom. And he's saying that the body is us. And when this happens, it's going to happen where we are. That's part of the reason that we don't have to go anywhere, right? The kingdom is around us. He's saying that you're in the kingdom. You don't have to worry about missing the kingdom if you're already in the kingdom. The kingdom is going to happen where you are. You will see it. Even if you will see it. So I think that there's this sense that we have no need to fear that we will miss this thing. All we need to do is be in the kingdom. If we are in the kingdom, that is where stuff is going to happen. That's where things are going to happen. And so I think that's what he's saying here. There are other meanings, just to give you a flavor of them. One of them is that some people, a lot of people, think that the body is Jerusalem, and that because they're eagles, that the Roman legions marched behind, and their staff was an eagle, and so that the eagles would come to Jerusalem. These are the sorts of things that people come up with that I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like that helps us very much. But this, if we think of this as being the kingdom is around us, and at the end of time when Jesus is revealed, or the Son of Man is revealed, it's not just going to all of a sudden disappear and be over there. It's going to be where we are. If we are living, doing our best to keep faith and live in the kingdom, it's going to be where we are. We don't have to worry about where it is because Jesus is with us. And we can concentrate on looking at Jesus and seeing what Jesus is doing and not being concerned that he's going to somehow, trick us at the end and be someplace else entirely. I think that's what Jesus is saying here. He's saying, live in me. Don't sweat it. Like, live in me, continue to live in me, and you will see the Son of Man when he's revealed. You will. Okay. Sorry, I've kind of been all over the place. I feel like this is one of those places where there's not like when I'm trying to think of sermons, I'm like, what's the theme? What are we supposed to do with this? What is the one thing that we're supposed to do with this? And this is really, I haven't seen a theme in this for me, except that he's saying there will be a time when the Son of Man is revealed. It is coming. It will come. He's saying it will surprise a lot of people. It will divide those who are looking for it and those who are not. But at the same time, he's telling his disciples, you know what you need to do to see it. I've been telling you how to live in the kingdom, and if you do that, it's not going to appear someplace where you're unsuspecting. It'll be where you are. I don't know what to do with that entirely, but maybe that helps somebody who's listening. But it's just like, this is going to happen. There is a surety of it. It is going to happen. It is going to be great. It is going to be amazing if we have spent our time living in the kingdom now, assuming that the kingdom is around us and trying to live by its law, by its ways of living. So we're going to take communion today. And communion is this place where we remember what it talks about here in verse 27. Where was it? Sorry, I'm looking for it. 25. But first, he must suffer many things and be rejected by this generation. So this is a remembrance of that. This is a place where we get to remember that. Why did Jesus come? Jesus came down because we needed him to come down. We needed him for two reasons. One reason was the kingdom of heaven wasn't on earth yet, right? Like, that was a major deal. There was Jesus is saying when he came, the kingdom of heaven actually came down to earth, or the kingdom of God actually came down to earth. We needed that. If that hadn't happened, then we would have no possibility of following him. And the second thing that happened was that we who are human, who are his creatures, who have not always been fully listening to him, need to have our sins forgiven so that we can become part of that kingdom of God that's on earth. And this is where we remember that. And so this is a thing that we get to do that's a time of joy. And yet, it's also important, as Paul says, that we come to it correctly. Paul says correctly. We need to not be flippant about it. We need to be able to see that we needed to have our sins forgiven, and maybe right now there's sins that we need to have forgiven. And and that is why we need this. That is why we need to remember what Jesus did for us. So I'm actually going to change the way that I do communion. I've been that I've always resisted the. Okay, I'm going to be frank with you. I grew up in a Baptist church, and communion was a funeral. It was a funeral, right? You would come, you'd have this time of reflection when you thought of all the awful things you'd done this week, and then you would have this meal where you were sorry for what we had done to Jesus. It was just this dirge. I don't think that's what it is. I think this is a place where we remember what Jesus has done for us, and that should make us be ecstatic. Like, look at what he's done for us. But I think in my throwing out that kind of Baptist way of doing it, I never had the thing where we looked at where we had been sinning. So I do want to put that back. I want to have a little time where we look and we look at our lives. We look at our lives right now, and we see the places where there is sin, and we ask for him to deal with that sin. But the reason we do that is to make that even more concrete. Make the joy of what he did for us even more concrete. That this is a place where even that sin that I did yesterday, Jesus is dealing with. Praise the Lord. Okay, so we're digging a little bit. So I just wanted to